there. Thank you so much again for tuning in. Today, I am excited. I know I'm always saying that, but I am really truly excited to talk to you about a topic that is related, obviously, to what we've been talking about this whole month is accountability and the last step of how to really make sure that you can create something that is going to hold you accountable. And this month, we know all things accountability. And as we are coming to the close, I really wanted to help you not only understand accountability, but today, the last step of it is to really create a system. Create an accountability system that is going to get you to achieve the results that you want to get. And I know it's easy to say, yes, I'm going to be accountable, but it's really important that you have a system that is going to help you check and balance, right? So for anything that you do, it's good to have a system, a tracking system, some type of ways, so that way you know that you're really making progress for the results that you want to achieve. So as I have already shared with you, I, for the longest time, was so much better at starting something. I'm a really great starter, but not as great as a finisher. So I'm sharing this with you because I have learned it the hard way. I've failed many times. There were many projects that I missed, the mark. But because of that, I know why it's important to set up an accountability system that is going to work for you. And take what I'm sharing with you with an open mind, because what I'm sharing with you is just basic, like a really basic down to like a fundamental level of setting up an accountability system. And everybody is different. I understand that. Like, we're all unique individuals. So some things may work for you that is not going to work for the next person, just so you know. And I'll share more towards the end of the episode of how you can change things up and make it work for you. But before all of that, I wanted to share what I have learned and what I have found to be really workable, sustainable, and manageable, that's actually going to get you the results. And there are three layers of accountability that makes up an accountability system that is going to help you. So first of all, think of these layers as like stepping stones, or the foundation of a building, a foundation of an empire of any sort. Is that these three steps is really important. They pile, or they work on top of each other. They support each other. So the first layer, which I've talked about already more in depth on the first episode in April, is there are three. The first layer is, how do you hold yourself accountable, right? Like being accountable to yourself. That's the first layer. And the most basic of all is that you need to be able to have a system where you can hold yourself accountable. I know without this layer, without holding yourself accountable, it's like not really um it's not going to get you anywhere. And it's important why I spoke about how keeping your word and staying committed is this first layer of accountability. And it depends on your level of follow through. You may need a different system, but the first thing is you have to understand that the first layer is holding yourself accountable, doing what you need to do when you don't feel like it. I already talked about commitment and recommitment, you know, versus consistency on my previous episode. Go back and listen to it if you need to, but really understand how you are when it comes to committing to a goal. Like, how do you operate? And really set up a system so that you can report to yourself, hold yourself accountable. I'll speak more about the tools that you can actually use towards the end, like I have said. But for now, just understand the first layer of accountability is holding yourself accountable. Okay. And the second layer is holding yourself accountable to someone else. And here's what I mean by that. It's not like they're in charge of you, it's not like they have power over you, none of that. But it's important that you have that person that you can go to confide in, to really share your dreams, to really I guess go to lean in, and this person could be a friend, this person could be a mentor, this person could be your husband, person could be your coach, who it is that you really trust, who you really know that will stand by you no matter what happens, who believes in you. For me, that person is very important. It's like the second layer of accountability, because like I can really answer to that person besides myself, right? Because sometimes I have a hard time following through, but I have this first layer so I can go to and say, you know what, I really missed the mark this week. I really missed working out. I really didn't do what I was supposed to do. So I'm coming to you, letting you know I'm coming clean. There was a breakdown. So moving forward, I'm going to recommit. So this second layer is just as important as the first. However, the third layer of accountability, which I'm going to really share with you, that ultimately, if you forget about the first two, let's say if you're not as strong with the first two, especially the first one where you are not as strong like me, you're more of a starter, not so much of a finisher, lean into this third layer. Really lean in. This is the hack for you. This is like the ultimate secret to success, is that being accountable to everyone. Everyone. And here's what I mean by that: make the commitment as public as possible. Meaning, I don't know if you use Facebook, or if you like to, make it Facebook official, and then share something that is going to really get you off your bum so you can do the work. Is Here's a reason behind why this third layer of accountability is the ultimate secret to success, or if you really want to take your life or business to the next level, take advantage of this step, is because humans by nature, I don't know about you, but I want to look good. I want people to know that I have it put together, and I want to show up a certain way. I want people to respect me as an expert. So guess what? You're going to do everything that you can possibly do to continue to look good. So when you are making a public announcement, or if you're sharing your goals publicly, the chances are you holding yourself to that account level of accountability is pretty high. You're going to follow through. If you're going to tell someone that you're going to do something and you're not, that's going to make you look bad, right? Human beings, we don't want that. So really use this as a really ultimate way to hold yourself accountable to the things that you really matter. So, for example, most of you already know by now that I'm crowdsourcing this month. Is I'm pre-selling my book to get support and to get donations so that I can publish my book. So by every week having to really announce the percentage of how far I've been able to gather support and how much we have been able to raise, that really helps me to really understand how far that I need to go and what else I need to do to make sure that my book campaign is going to be successful. And putting it on Facebook, and also, really taking the moment to really thank my backers, those people that really believe in me. So something like that as an example, make it really public. And this is a way where it's really going to guarantee you an opportunity to really, go all in, especially with your life, especially with your business. That's why sometimes where, people really um what is it go to a community where maybe it could be like a women empowerment or a networking event, or an organization that you belong to, and really share a goal with them, so that way that many people are supportive of you. Not only that, if you really believe in law of attraction or quantum physics, things like that, if you're sharing your goal publicly and like really have that sink in with people and land on people, that many more people believe in you. Not only that, they're really all collectively sending you good vibes, and guess what? It's done, right? Just think about how that many people is really calling you forward. You're basically sourcing these people to really think, great things. And so that in turn, everything is going to happen for you on this third layer of accountability by really involving everyone, making your goals as public as possible, really being able just to put yourself out there in that way. That's how you're going to be successful. And you know when it comes to setting a system, some of you may like certain tools and things like that, so I want to share some of what I have been using for my different layers of accountability. And work use what you can and what works for you. And again, as I have mentioned earlier in the episode, every person works differently, so you may need a different tool. You may need to, unlike me, you're very good with holding yourself accountable, but you're not, as great with, you know, flaking out. It's easier for you to tell your husband or your best friend that, oh, I didn't do that. So maybe that that is not your layer of accountability that you should really hone in, right? So it really depends on who you are, who how you operate, and what you really want to create. Then that next level for you, you want to really gauge which layer of accountability you really want to focus on. Granted, you want to do all three, but there's always going to be one layer that's going to be your main focus, meaning you hone in, because you get one of them right, all of them are going to work, with each other, in tandem. Everything is interconnected. So here are some of the what I'm going to share. My first layer of accountability, by holding myself accountable, I use many tracking tools. So example, like I use Fitbit for my workout and exercise. I also have a water application that I use to make sure that I drink enough water. I have a tracker also on my phone to make sure that I'm not on social media, or at least, I only allow myself a certain amount of time to be on social media and things like that. And I cannot operate without my Google Calendar, and it's electronic. It's connected to my phone, so I have that in case I need to make sure that I'm available, things like that. But to really make sure that I am accountable to my schedule. That's like the really ultimate first layer of accountability, holding myself accountable, doing what I need to do to really track my progress. And then, you know what? The second layer of accountability, my first go to, have always been, since I basically stepped into entrepreneurship and then self development, is that I always had a coach. I've always been working with a coach from the beginning of time. But in addition to me being accountable to the coach, I also have my best friends that I tell about what I'm working on, especially the book, and whatever it is, especially getting pregnant. I want to have my second kid like before I turn 40, those things. And then my husband. So those people are really super important to have in your life. But I would say take it to the next level too, because chances are sometimes when with friends and family, they tend to be nice to you, right? Like they tend to be nice, and they're also really not just trained in really getting you to the next level. So it depends on where you are with your life and your, if you have a business, I would highly recommend you have a mentor of some sort or even a coach. And then the third layer of accountability, too. Yes, like I have shared with you, that you need to tell as many people as possible about what you're up to. Yes, Facebook is really a good tool, but I wanted to engage you to take it to the next level, even so. For me, I know that as a coach, I need to continue to work on myself, right? I need to really practice what I preach. I really need to be able to shine the light on myself and be onto myself. So, what I have created is a podcast where I talk about how to overcome fear, and then fear in life, fear in business. But this is where I have to get real with myself every single week to make sure that I am writing content and really sharing my life and being really connected and authentic to what it is that's going on with me, to really put it out there. So imagine that when you can really commit yourself to that next level, making sure that everyone is really watching you, making sure that holding you accountable. Because here's the reality. I can easily I can easily say, something happens and I can't produce that episode, but it's not acceptable because I have made a commitment. my outro and intro tells everyone to expect a new episode every single Thursday. So I have to live up to that. And especially when I get to set that goal. So I need to follow through with that. But that's just another example of what you can do to really hold yourself accountable. So take your life to the next level. And for example, writing a book could be, that's also my way of holding myself accountable to take my life to the next level, because I want to share my story. I want to do the work that I do with as many people as possible. I want to create that big of an impact, so that the book is the next level. And because of that, then I have a team behind me, the editors, the publisher, everybody is surrounded around me to hold me accountable, to put my book out there. So you have to really think about the different strategies and the different ways where you can really take your life and business to the next level in doing what it is that you believe in, and using that strategy and creating whatever it is, but using that as also an accountability system at the same time. As I have shared with you, creating a podcast, yes, something I always wanted to do, but that's one layer of accountability that I'm putting on myself. Writing a book, whatever it may be. So for you, it's really important for you to really sit down. First of all, do you even have goals to work towards? Right? So, getting clear on your goals. And then the next step would be, okay, you're really committed now. How do you follow through? Then, how do you create an accountability system? Because ultimately, you can have a strategy, which I tell my clients all the time. You can have a plan, you can have goals, you can have whatever. But if you don't have a plan and following through with the plan, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, there's no results. There's nothing to really strive for. There's no progress to be made. So that's what I have to share with you this week. I'm really excited to be closing out this month. Be on the lookout for our inspiration from Fit to Profit, what May is going to look like. I'm excited to be coming back next week to share with you what we're up to. But that's it for you this month. Go back if you need to listen to all the episodes. All I talked about this week, this month, and including this week, is all about accountability. And that's where have been able to make the most progress. That's where I have been able to stay committed. That's where I've been able to create the results that I have in my life by setting the appropriate accountability system for myself. So I hope that you have found the information supportive of what it is that you're looking to do. And please let me know, comment, or check out my blog as well as on www.fittoprofit.com, and just let me know what else I can help you with, because I would love to put out content that is going to be supporting you in whatever it is that you do. So thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate your listening, and I wish you a fantastic rest of the week. Until next time, take great care.